Okay, guys. We're here, Matt's side, just talking. This is Brooks and Mike. And last week we had Marty Josey from the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Rocks Podcast and Aaron Sundstrom out for a Breathing for Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, Breathing for BJJ seminar, and also ice bath experience. It was the first time I think they did it together. About 6 months ago, or so, maybe not that long, I was out in California for the Jiu-Jitsu Lifestyle Summit, and Aaron was out there. I met Aaron there, and at the end of one of the days, Huron came up to the group and was like, okay, tomorrow morning we got a surprise for you, be ready. And Aaron comes up and he's like, we're gonna do an ice bath. And I'm like, what? So I've been paying attention, to Wim Hof. Some of you guys have heard maybe about the Iceman, and I always found it fantastic and very interesting. But I was like, I don't know if the ice bath thing is for me. The breathing sounds kind of cool, but I'm not sure about that. But the ice bath was quite the test of your ability to maintain calm, and I think that's basically what it was about. So first off, what were your thoughts on the breathing part of the seminar?
It's beautiful. It was awesome. I'd already acclimated myself with a lot of breathing techniques over the years, and I learned so much in that 2 hours. It was beautiful. A lot of it addressed how to breathe during the roll, during the pressure, during all the chaos of jiu-jitsu, which was awesome, and I think that everyone there was like really catching on to it. And I know I learned a lot about different chambers of the lungs and everything, and how to work that. And man, it really made a difference for me for sure. And I loved every bit of it. I think it was 2 hours.
It was two solid hours.
2 hours of breathing.
I think the coolest part was at the beginning, he had us put each other in positions like that are typically uncomfortable, like heavy side control pressure, heavy mount pressure, heavy knee on the belly pressure, and like, okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad did that suck? And then at the very end, we went back in those positions, and they were like, okay, so how much did it change? And for most people, I think it changed like a factor of 3 or 4 points.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Like, it still can suck, but when you really focus on breathing in different parts in different ways, you can, I've known since the beginning that breath was, absolutely critical part of survival and being able to keep your calm in those bad positions. But I think those techniques, can really take them to another level.
Oh yeah, very much.
What was your thoughts?
Yeah, true game changer. If applied properly at the right times. We got a lot of heavy guys in this place. Even some light guys that feel really heavy.
Yeah.
So when they get on you, getting into those positions, understanding your breathing, really focusing in on your breathing, and where to breathe from, like you said, Mike, from the chambers of your body, truly a game changer once applied. So experimenting with it now, and I know you have been for a while.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Highly recommend it for sure. If anybody's interested in putting together a seminar with those guys, it was great. So check them out. Now, let's talk about your PTSD.
Yeah, it's still cold.
So you have been doing this cold shower stuff for a while,
I
right?
thought I was super prepared. I really did. I dove into breathing years ago.
We went in together the first round. Like we were like, okay, we're going in. Like I'm here. I guess I'm the leader of the school. I got to do this thing. Let's get it out of the way.
And I'm Canadian, so I figured it was just a nice summer bath for me, but it's a little bit different than that.
Smidgen different.
So it was only 2 minutes, right? So what was your experience in 2 minutes?
Well, it definitely was nothing like the cold shower. I'd been breathing heavily for years, and then implemented the cold showers for months, and I felt pretty good. Actually, I was like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna just do this real quick. It's gonna be so enlightening, and I'm gonna just power right through it. Whew, buddy, I think I exhaled on the way in because it was so cold. I wasn't supposed to do that. Once I submerged to the neck, I think I looked to you for hope. You were like, and you were breathing, and I'm breathing, and Aaron was awesome and walked around and was making sure that we were all breathing and giving us support, which helped a lot. But man, I'll tell you what, fight or flight came in like harder than in my whole life. It was so weird. I've been in a lot of different stressful situations, a lot of different pain, a lot of different things going on over the years, and my mind was like, get out of here. Like, you're dead. Like, you're going to die at any, like, what are you, and my body's like, don't do it. just breathe. It was horrible, but it was awesome at the same time because I had to focus on my breath.
Yeah.
And it was the only way to stay in. It was like involuntarily, I would have had to get out. If I wouldn't have focused on my breath, I would have just jumped out. My body
Right.
would have been like, get out.
If this was something like we're like, hey, let's try this. Let's jump in without any preparation. Like, oh, this sucks. Let's get out.
Yeah, we got right away. And I was able to power through it. And, I remember hearing 10 seconds left. And that was the longest 10 seconds of my life, man. I saw you get out, Brooks, I'm like, I'm out of here. But afterwards, I felt amazing. And it was similar to like what I've experienced with like cold showers and breathing and things like that.
Yeah.
But the headspaces I got in, I use the word forced meditation a lot. And that was probably the most intense forced meditation I've ever experienced. And it intrigued me. I mean, like I joked about the PTSD thing, but I mean, I was cold for 8 hours after that. But the next day I was like, I gotta go buy a big tub and fill it with ice and like dive into this again because it really brought a lot of things up during the moments. And it was like, wow, this is very cool. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean, that first 10 seconds was the shock, and then trying to control the breathing based on what we learned for those first 2 hours, which was extremely important. To your point, if we wouldn't have learned that, it would have been get out immediately, because everything in your body was saying, don't do this.
Yeah.
So it was both physical and mental. You get over the mental side, you clear your head and make sure that you're focusing on your breathing techniques. You do the breathing techniques with the physical side of it, and you can overcome it. However, I will tell you from personal experience that I was looking around thinking, I'm not going to leave this place. I want to. If someone else gets up, I'm following.
I'm out.
But I was not going to be the first one to do it because it was stressful.
Yeah,
It was really
very
a
stressful.
stressful situation.
The first time I did it in California, I was in the first group there as well, and I went in with Huron, and it was like, I honestly think in a way, like the first time, it was a little bit of like peer pressure. Like I was joking around, like if I was around a bunch of CrossFitters who nothing against CrossFit, my wife does CrossFit, but if I was around a bunch of CrossFitters who are like, we're gonna do this ice bath, I'm like, yeah, have fun, right? But you're at a jiu-jitsu lifestyle summit, I'm like, I guess I gotta give it a shot, And I'm super glad I did. But when I did it that time, I think there were 6 other people in the pool at the same time, and I went into my own space, I closed my eyes, and it was like the first, and I got my breath right away. I'm like, and then it was like actually in a weird way, kind of pleasurable. I was like, this sucks, but I'm doing it, and I can breathe through it. And I had my eyes closed the whole time. It just went into my head, and so that first time was kind of cool. But when I got in with you guys this time, it was actually a little bit harder this time to catch my breath. Typically, it's going to be easier. Now, I was okay after about 15 seconds or so, but I think part of it was like my eyes were open this time, and I was looking at you, and I was feeling bad for you because you were suffering, and I was looking around and like, this is not very good for these guys, I'm like, wait. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, I can calm down, I can get my breath. And once I got my breath, 15 seconds in or whatever, it was same as before,
But there's such a direct correlation to the pressures that we feel on the mat.
Yeah.
Get somebody heavy knee on belly, heavy on top position, side control. That breathing comes into play.
Yeah.
You're under a lot of mental and physical stress, and
Yeah.
you can tolerate that. If you can tolerate that, the ice bath,
Right.
you should be able to tolerate what goes on in your jiu-jitsu life. I would say, I would
absolutely.
suggest.
Yeah, I mean, because some of these positions that we get into, especially at the beginning, can be very claustrophobic for folks who've never experienced anything like grappling of any kind. I remember the first time I got mounted. It was in a private lesson. It was a very comfortable, environment. Whatever. The guy was great. It was nice. He was only like 135 pounds, but it was just a demonstration. I knew I was safe and he wasn't going to hurt, but I still kind of panicked a little bit. Like, what would I do? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to get out of here. And then you go through it, and then you get empowered, and you learn how to breathe through those stressful scenarios, and little by little you become better. And after being on the mat for 25 years now, I'm very, very calm and relaxed when I train and when I spar, and it's typically easy for me to find comfort in most of these positions. But I think this made it even better, especially the breathing technique. So anyway, that was our experience. Guys, seek them out. If there's one nearby, I believe they even have an online course.
They do, yeah. Marty has an online course, which I'm definitely gonna take. I gotta get into this, man. It was too hard.
Yeah.
It's way
So
too
we'll
hard.
put the links to all that in the comments or the description here below, and seek those guys out and check out the podcast as well. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Rocks. yours truly is on the latest episode. I think it's 114 maybe. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't sound like an idiot on it. And yeah, we'll see y'all soon.